She was humiliated right in the golden lobby of a 7-star hotel, bent over, wiping a table beneath a crystal chandelier. A receptionist scoffed, "Careful. If you wipe a guest's feet by mistake, you'll lose your job." The manager waved her away, out of sight before the royal entourage arrives. But fate had other plans. When Sheikh Fidil bin Nasser entered, speaking in ancient Arabic no one could understand, it was the maid, Amamira Collins, who looked up and answered him, in perfect Hadrami dialect. The room went silent. The sheikh froze. "Where did you learn that?" he asked. "Or were you once one of us?" Music swells softly. Moments earlier, no one had even looked at her twice. Plain white blouse, black skirt, no makeup, no jewelry, just a rag and a bucket. The influences near the lobby had mocked her shoes. The receptionist filmed her for laughs. Everyone thought she was invisible, less than the marble she cleaned. But Amamira wasn't nobody, not even close. Beat, music turns thoughtful. When the sheikh spoke that forgotten language, she recognized every word. It pulled her back to another life, before this uniform, before the mop. She had once been a linguist, a cryptographer, a woman whose voice had stopped wars. The manager hissed at her. "Silence, you'll be fired." But the sheikh raised his hand. "Let her speak." Amira bowed her head and repeated his words flawlessly, each syllable like poetry. A silver goblet slipped from an aide's hand. Then a general whispered, "I remember that voice, Ankara 2016. Cedar Tree, the code name of a translator who saved 2 nations from war." Gasps rippled across the lobby. The sheikh's gaze softened. "Why are you here, working as a maid?" Amira looked down at the photo in her pocket, her brother, Sami. "I've done enough," she said. He nodded slowly. "Then do one more thing. For me." Music rises with quiet strings. Someone sneered, "She's no diplomat, just a maid." Another challenged, "Prove it. Speak Bedouin Arabic." Amira didn't flinch. She began to sing, a folk song from the Al-Harif tribe, extinct words carried on her breath like desert wind. The aides stepped back in disbelief. Only someone born among them could know it. Amira's eyes met theirs. "I lived with that tribe for 2 years. The chef from the kitchen whispered, "My grandmother sang that." Tears filled his eyes. The sheikh rose again. "Amamira Collins," he said, "come with me to Geneva." The manager went pale. The receptionist vanished. But Amira only folded her apron, bowed, and said quietly, "I don't need fame. I only want my voice used at the right time." Transition, airport ambience. Later, she sat at the airport, holding that same photo of her brother. A little girl recognized her. "Are you the lady from the news?" Amira smiled, handed her a small Yemeni coin. "Keep listening," she said. The plane lifted off, and Dubai faded below. Sound cue, Geneva conference ambience. In Geneva, chaos filled the summit, diplomats shouting, translators scrambling. Amira walked in, calm and steady. No fancy clothes, just presence. When the meeting hit a deadlock over a border dispute, she spoke one sentence, an ancient Arabic verse both sides revered. The room fell silent. The deal moved forward. Soft piano. Reporters wanted interviews. She said nothing. A journalist called out, "Miss Collins, why hide? You're a hero." She stopped. "I'm not hiding," she said. "I'm just done talking." Quiet pause. Music fades to a single note. Back in Dubai, her story spread like fire. The receptionist lost her job. The arrogant aides disappeared from the sheikh's circle. Amira never said a word against them. The truth did the work. Months later, at another summit in London, a tall man stood silently by her side, her husband. No one had known she was married. She didn't need the world to understand her anymore. That night, she stood by a window, the city lights reflecting in the glass. A street musician played an old Yemeni lullaby. She dropped a coin into his case, the same coin she'd once carried for luck. Music swells gently, hopeful tone. She had spent her life being judged by her clothes, her silence, her job. But she never bent, never begged, never lost herself. The world saw her now, not as a maid, not even as a hero, but as a mirror, a reminder that quiet strength is still strength. And maybe, just maybe, you know that feeling too, being looked down on, underestimated. You don't have to shout to be heard. Because sometimes, silence is the loudest voice of all. Music fades out.